Albania is quickly becoming a traveler hotspot. Its traditions combined with stunning scenery has made it one of Europe's must-see destinations. Would Albania be your retirement destination? Hello everyone, this is Ronan Blue. If you're new to this channel, welcome. This channel is all about how my girlfriend and I achieved financial independence and debt freedom 2 years back since paying off our mortgage. With my newfound freedom, I talk about how we made it happen, the types of passive income we have that anyone can implement, our thoughts of early retirement overseas, personal thoughts, and general financial issues. Subscribe to our channel so you don't miss our weekly content full of information helping you get to financial independence yourself. Today's topic is on the 8 best reasons to retire to Albania. Just as a disclaimer, the information provided is a general guide and to be used for educational purposes only. Number 1. Culture in Albania. Albania's history goes back to the ancient Illyrians and Greeks until the Romans arrived in the 2nd century BC and assumed control for 6 centuries until the Byzantines took over. The Albanians then became a part of the Ottoman Empire for more than 4 centuries. But after the uprisings in 1910 and 1912, the Turks finally gave Albania autonomy. Albanians are a native Balkan people who live in southern Europe. They live in ethnically compact settlements in large areas, primarily in Albania, Kosovo, Macedonia, but also in Montenegro and Greece. It's primarily a Muslim country and the people are not of Turkish or Slavic descent. A lot of people who arrive in Albania notice it's a different culture. It doesn't feel like Europe anymore. There are several unfinished abandoned buildings and pavement is filled with holes. But people love the character of the country. They're known to be patriotic, welcoming, and friendly. You'll find many curious eyes for foreigners, and the majority don't speak a word of English, but they are most welcoming of foreigners and become very hospitable once they know you. Their kindness and generosity are part of their culture. Number 2. Places to live in Albania. Tirana. Tirana is Albania's capital city, its most densely populated city. It attracts expats in large numbers. The streets in Tirana are lined with public art, murals, wall paintings, and colorful art. Even public furniture has been turned into art pieces and cafes are popping up everywhere. There are feelings of hope as the streets are explored. You'll find all the comforts of what a large city would offer here and its conveniences. The central area is a bit smoky and dusty, however, given that the city is situated in a valley and many prefer to live on the outskirts of the city. Saranda. This is a very small city, but many refer to it as more of a town. It has an abundance of good restaurants and nightlife in the summer and has good transportation throughout Albania and onwards to Athens or Corfu, Greece. There's beaches here as well, like Horseshoe Bay, with a mix of sand and pebbles next to calm blue waters. It's like any other European seaside getaway. Mir Beach in Saranda is known as an excellent location for snorkeling. It's also peaceful and it's not as busy here with tourists. Berrak. This town is a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the center of Albania. It's one of the most beautiful cities in the Balkan Peninsula. There's several cafes here and Turkish coffee would be very popular. It has Byzantine churches with cobblestone streets and secret gardens. There's also the most famous mosque of Berrak in Mangalum. It's a Muslim district of the town and is filled with ancient white Ottoman houses. It has famous museums that have interesting artifacts of the period as well. There are ancient churches, mosques, and walls. Behind the walls is hidden the Holy Trinity Church, one of the highlights of the town. Number 3. Food in Albania. Berrak. This is the most famous food in Albania. It's a tasty salty pie made with phyllo pastry. One of the most famous is berrak with spinach, but you'll often find it with cheese or meat. All versions are delicious. Koft. This would be grilled meatballs and is one of the most popular meat dishes in Albania. It's seasoned with spices and mint and served with raw onion and salad. Freshly caught shrimp. With the Ionian Sea very close, fresh seafood is very popular. You can dine seaside while feasting on freshly caught shrimp. It's a simple dish with green and red peppers along with skinned tomatoes and onions that are cooked down with cottage cheese and spices. The end product is a thick dip, accompanied with some bread. Number 4. Things to do in Albania. Anti-nuclear bunkers. There are 2 museums built inside 2 anti-nuclear bunkers in Tirana. It's a perfect place to learn about the history of Albania. Hidden beaches. The Albanian coast has plenty of stunning beaches, especially in the south. There are some secluded and places perfect to spend a day alone in total relaxation. They are, however, hidden and off the beaten path, so it will not be easy to find them. But if you're into adventure and with enough patience, you'll spend some of the most beautiful days of your life surrounded only by nature and crystal clear waters. You can spend your time camping there as well. Liguria Pass. This is one of Albania's most famous places, with the road providing one of the most spectacular drives. It's located in the middle of the Liguria National Park, and the road travels to over 1,000 meters above sea level, and the scenery is one of the best in the world. There's also animals such as the golden eagle, European wildcat, and fallow deer. Number 5. Cost of living in Albania. Everyone's cost of living would be different. There are some expat couples who live in Albania who easily spend $800 a month on food and drink by eating out a lot and going to bars. But if that's not your style, there are many ways you would be able to reduce your costs, just like how you would back home. A meal at an inexpensive restaurant would be $5, between $4 and $6 USD. A meal for 2 people at a mid-range restaurant for a 3-course meal would be $27, between $20 and $32 USD. Basic utilities for an apartment would be $78, between $55 and $112 per month. The internet would be $23, between $16 and $36 per month. An apartment 1 bedroom in city center would be $325, between $276 and $404 USD per month. An apartment 1 bedroom outside the city center would be $193, between $138 and $230 USD per month. An apartment 3 bedrooms in city center would be $622, between $460 and $899 USD per month. An apartment 3 bedrooms outside a city center would be $338, between $276 and $552 USD per month. Number 6. Buy property in Albania. Buying real estate here is quite affordable if you take your time and get to know the values. To mention, I'm not a real estate expert, but there are condos for between $33,000 and $45,000 USD, and 3-bedroom houses for under $95,000, and beach condos with a sea view for less than $56,000 USD. Compared to other countries in Europe, in Albania there are no legal restrictions that prevent you from owning property. You just have to make sure that the property you're buying has valid documentation. The documents also compile in English. With the increased standards, you can buy a luxury apartment and still pay less than other European countries. You can contact a public or private lawyer in order to help you with the reservation fee, and then carry out the transaction according to the Albanian law. Foreign nationals can't buy and become owners of agricultural lands, meadows, forests, pastures in Albania. They can rent up to 99 years of such services. Number 7. Healthcare in Albania. Although Tirana has many healthcare facilities, basic health requirements are still developing in most parts of Albania. Since the collapse of socialism, the healthcare system has been on a steady decline. An expat who's working could be covered by the local system in Albania by some firms and may not need international health coverage. But here are some options available in Albania, or pretty much for any country. There's international health insurance, expat life and disability insurance, travel insurance, evacuation coverage, and group expat insurance plans. The public health service infrastructure in Albania isn't of a high standard. There's a general lack of medical equipment, and hygiene levels can vary. Having comprehensive travel insurance including medical coverage would be advised. There are, however, private clinics with English-speaking staff you'll need to expect to pay in advance, regardless of whether you have insurance or not. Number 8. How to live in Albania. Albania goes under the rules applicable to most of Europe, where you can only stay 3 months and then you have to leave the Schengen zone for 3 months before returning. But oddly, there is an exception for Americans who can stay for a whole year without a residency permit. If they apply for residency after that, the permit is good for 5 years. I'm not a visa expert, and you should always keep yourself up to date with any changes. But US citizens may stay in the Republic of Albania for up to 1 year without a residence permit. The only other country that offered the 1 year for Americans for the country reviews I've done so far was Vietnam. When you enter the country, border and migration officer stamps your passport with the entry date. But now it's actually being done electronically in their systems. After a year, you need to depart Albania and remain out of the country for at least 90 days. In other words, if you stay in Albania for 1 year, you would have to depart and remain outside of the country for at least 90 days in order to re-enter without a residency permit. But you do need to get yourself some health insurance, but conveniently there are health insurance providers right outside the immigration departments where you can take a policy on the spot. Healthcare is best in the private hospitals as mentioned earlier, but if you have a serious injury or require specialist surgeries, make sure your health insurance covers your extraction from the country. You're responsible for all your costs, which are expected to be paid in the hospital in cash. But for all others, depending on which country you're from, will affect which visas you can get, so it's always best to check with your country's embassy. But let's talk more in detail about Albania from what expats are saying. Albanians are very friendly people, polite and welcoming. Some have said that random strangers would try and start up a conversation with you. Mother Teresa is actually Albanian, and many other famous people are from Albania as well. But compared to Western Europe, there is a level of real poverty here that may seem like a shock to many. Many Albanians actually want to leave their country to have a better quality of life. Many are educated, but there's a lack of opportunities and well-paying jobs. Albania is generally a safe country to live in, although like any other country, there are problems. One should be cautious when traveling in remote regions. The drivers are also known to be bad drivers and the roads are poor. But they are slowly improving. Albania does lack infrastructure such as proper roads and utilities. There's also a trash problem here as well. People tend to drop their trash on the ground. There are many street dogs and cats here as well. Although property prices are affordable, Westerners are usually quite disappointed in Albania's real estate as it doesn't meet their standards. Corruption could be a huge obstacle for purchasing real estate in Albania. While Albania may not have the conveniences of most Western countries, it does have a beautiful culture, warm people, and very interesting history. There's a variety of food and entertainment that are available. If you love ethnic foods from Italy and Greece, there are many choices in Albania, being close to those countries. But keep in mind that due to a poor road system, imported items are generally unavailable. The cost of living in Albania is extremely low, however, but this may be because of the lack of goods and services. Housing is usually the biggest expense, with other expenses such as utilities and owning a car following closely behind. If you're planning to live in Albania, you should do it for the right reason. If your goal is to find a more affordable place to live, there are plenty of other places on the planet that will give you that satisfaction. Albania is still having a difficult time transitioning from communist rule. Due to Albania's poor infrastructure, poverty, and minimal production, it will take many years and a lot of help for this country to reach its full potential. Well, tell me what you think of Albania in the comment section below. If you like this vlog, please don't forget to give me a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell for more of my coming content here. Thank you for watching my vlog. I hope you have a great day and see you soon.